Lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup.misfit, and today I have an update for Pan That Palette in order. Yes, I have still been working on this project. I know I did say that I wasn't sure if I was going to do monthly updates or only update when I had progress. I've been trying to keep up with my monthly updates. However, if you've heard me over the last few videos, I wasn't around in May, so it is what it is. But I do have an update for you today. So if you don't know or don't remember, I've been working on the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 1 palette, and basically Pan That Palette in order is you're hitting pan in every shade in the palette, but you're working from the first shade to the very last shade in the palette. Now, I've been working on the first shade in this palette since the intro, which I don't remember what month it was exactly, January maybe, or February. I want to say it was probably January though. And I was having some issues with that shimmer shade. So we're going to just chat before I actually show you guys what the palette's looking like. I was having issues because I did not like the formula of it. It was very crumbly, but it was like also dry at the same time. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I've only ever used it with a brush, and maybe it wasn't the proper brush to use with the shade. However, I just found it was very annoying to use and I hated it. Now, I don't know if maybe that prolonged some of the progress in the shade. However, I am happy to say that I do finally have pan showing right there. Now, I'm not reaching for these two creams, so I'm starting off with this shade here. And I am so happy to finally have pan in that shade. That shade is actually called Exquisite. Now, after I had hit pan in there, I just put that palette down. I didn't reach for it for a bit because I just needed to take a break. I loved the shade. The tone of the shade was beautiful. I would wear it all over the lid. I would blow it out, blend it out with other bronze shades or copper shades. I wore it with Perfect Babe from my Essence Bronze This Way palette. I loved the combination of those two. I did enjoy wearing the shade color-wise and tone-wise. I just did not like the formula at all. So because I had hit pan in that shade, I moved on to the next shade right away, which was called Legendary. And it is another shimmer, and I did find that again, the formula was very similar, which was really annoying. So I'm hoping that the other two shimmers in this palette are not like that. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what the palette is looking like now. And I'm sure you guys can see it from there. But I hit pan in Legendary as well, which I am so excited about. So I either did that this morning or yesterday morning. I can't remember, to be completely honest with you. The one thing I did find was that it took less time and less uses to hit pan in this shade than it did this one. I feel like I really struggled with this one, and this one just seemed a lot easier. I had seen the dip the other day, and I knew I was close, but I didn't think it was going to be like the next use where I hit pan, and that's just how it ended up turning out. So I don't know how many uses it was, but it definitely wasn't as much as this. However, like I said, I'm pretty sure I said, I found that the formula was very similar. It was still crumbly, dry, and it wasn't crumbly to the point where it helped me hit pan. It was just like Fallout Central all over my face. It got really annoying and difficult, and I just did not like using it. So these are the only other two shimmers in this palette, and I'm really hoping that they're not the same. I don't know if maybe it's just the tone of the shades or the depth of the shades, or if that has anything to do with the formula whatsoever. However, I am taking a break from the shimmers for a while because the next shade I will be working on is this matte one right here. So I have only swatched it just to kind of get a feel for what the color is like, and it is something that I could obviously pair with a bunch of other stuff. I have so many neutrals going on right now as well, so I feel like adding one more, it'll be easy to combine it into other looks. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to hit pan on this because it is a matte over a shimmer, but we're going to have to see. So I am going to do monthly updates, at least for the next little while, or at least next month. I want to see what my progress is like over 1 month between now and then, and just to kind of see what it's looking like, if there does seem to be a little bit of a dip, or if I use it a bunch of times and it looks like there's absolutely no progress at all, then I can get a feel for how the rest of this palette is going to go, because this whole bottom row is all mattes. These are the last two shimmers, and then we are working on mattes, which is going to fall into the fall and winter time. So we're going to have to see how this goes. Now, I did say that I wanted to compare the Major Dimensions 2 palette to this one, formula-wise, because I wanted to see if the shimmers were the same for this. Now, the Major Dimensions 2 is more of a berry tone, and I've heard that it is a better formula. I've heard that it's just better in general. Now, I did have that as an option for my level 3 in my Project Level Up, which if you saw that update last week, I did level up to level 3. However, I did not end up randomizing the Major Dimensions 2 palette. So I won't be comparing them the way that I was kind of hoping to, but I'm going to try and dip into that palette a little bit over the next however long, just to get a feel for the shimmers in that palette, the mattes in that palette. I do want to get a feel for this matte first, I think, and just really find out and see how I feel about the second palette. As of right now, to me, this palette is not worth it. It was very expensive and definitely not something that I would be interested in the future. I don't know if the second palette is going to change my mind on any of that. I don't own the third palette. It's strictly mattes, and it's just not a color story that I'm interested in. It's a little too dark for me. But as of right now, this eyeshadow palette is just not it. It was not worth it, and that's saying a lot because it was pricey. So I'm hoping that the second one will change my mind slightly, but again, I don't know if it's going to be enough for me to want another palette if and when they come out with a fourth one, or anything like that. So as of right now, we are moving on to the third shade, which is super exciting because I really was not sure how long it was going to take for me to hit pan in those shimmers. We are halfway through the year. This is going to continue on. So I don't think I'm going to end this in December. I'm just going to continue and let it go because I want to see how long it's going to actually take for me to hit pan in every single one of these shades minus these creams. So I have 10 shades. We are 6 months into the year and I've got 2 pans. But you know what? It's not bad. I'm okay with this. This isn't a top priority palette. It's not a focus palette. It's just something that I try to reach for when I can, or if there's nothing else that I really feel like doing or have inspiration to do, or I just need to do something that's really quick and easy. That's a palette that I can potentially reach for if I need to. So that's what that's all about. I'm so excited that I had hit pan and that I'm finally going on to my third shade though. So let me know if you have this palette or the Major Dimensions 2. What are your thoughts on the palettes? And that's about it. That's everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys all later. Bye.